Very good, friends. Hi, Doc South here. I was just thinking back to, I'm thinking it almost had to be probably spring of 1952. In fact, I think it was so long ago that I don't believe my brother was born yet. Or he was very close to joining us here on the planet, but I, yeah, it was long ago. 1952. Oh my heavens, so far back. I was getting out of kindergarten one day. Yeah, I had a hard day at kindergarten. You had oh gosh, all that clay. There was that incident where one of the kids started eating paste. Pretty soon we're all eating it. Yeah, they had to have we all had to get a talking to. But there was, I remember we come out of school, and there's my father and my Uncle Don waiting for me. And I said, well, what's up? I'm supposed to walk home. My father said, no, come on, we're gonna take you to the track. I said, the track? What's that? He says, where they race horses. I said, we're, I've heard of I'd heard of horse racing, but never got to go. And the old man said, yeah, come on. And I pile into, I get into the back seat of the car. I think he had an old, one of those, what do you call it, woody station wagons Ford used to make. It was a station wagon, but it had the wood paneling. Yeah, I hop in the back there. And but I seem to remember I grabbed the rear seat where I could look out the back instead of looking out the side or the front. And off we went. And he's saying, "Bo, you're going to like this. We've never taken you to the track." Evidently, they had a tip. Yeah, and someone had told them something, and they were going to go down and invest heavily. And nothing better than a hot tip. And so I'm sitting there watching the world go by, waving at people and stuff. And next thing I know, we're down. It took about an hour. We got down to again Freehold Racetrack, which is pretty much a trotting race, a trotter's track, yes, where they have the sulkies, right? The two-wheeled sulkies. The driver's not on the horse; he's behind the horse. Not always the best place to be, but he's for two reasons. One of them you can imagine. The other one is if the horse starts kicking and stuff, could be rough. Uh, you can get, oh boy. So harness racing there. It they we walked into the track. Kids got, actually, now that I think about it, I wasn't allowed in. Kids weren't allowed in till after the seventh race. I think it was the seventh race, and for some reason, I don't know why, but they weren't. But after that, it was okay for kids to come in, and they got in for free. So I had to sit in the parking lot. Yeah, I know. Nowadays, oh my God, they'd have parents up on charges. But but back then, what? Well, nothing wrong. The kid's sitting in the parking lot. I had comic books. I was reading them, hollering, talking with the other kids in the backs of their cars. Hey, how you doing? Where are you from? Oh, Hoboken. Wow, Hoboken, huh? Yeah, yeah. No, I'm Elizabeth. Elizabeth. Yeah, yeah. No, near Warrenaco Park. Yeah. Oh, you been there? Yeah. Oh, you had to sit in the back of the truck there, back of your car there too. Oh, yeah, well. And then all of a sudden, my father come out and he said, "Well, okay, seventh race over. You can come on in. They got three more races to go." And he said, "Here I'm." And I remember my father handed me a buck, which means he won whatever horse he was there to invest in. Must have won, and he had some money, so he said, "Here's a buck for you, and you can place a bet if you want." I said, "Wow. You mean just like the grown-ups?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Except you're too young to walk up to the ticket window." Well, I didn't know what a ticket window was, but where you place your wager. Yeah, you had to be 21, and I think I was maybe 6, 5 or 6 years old, and there I am. All the guys are smoking cigars and drinking beer and screaming, and so there's a few guys drunk, kind of arguing about a horse and that kind of thing. And evidently my uncle Don and my father had some seats up in the grandstand. We're up there, and I can look and I see all the horses running around on the sulkies, and I said, "Whoa, this is cool." Had a hot dog, I'm eating a hot dog, and whoa, a little mustard on it. Gosh, this is great. I'm just watching and again, they're just horses warming up for the next race. They're getting their muscles limber. And he says, "So what horse do you like?" And I could sort of read, at least a little. And he says, "Do you see? These are the horses in the next race." He said, "Do you see any you like?" He said, "I could give you an idea if you want." But then he says, "Maybe you should pick for your first race. Maybe you should pick your own." And I said, "Well, okay, let me look." And I'm looking. I said, "So these the names are over here?" He says, "Yeah, but you don't always pick them by names. You maybe look and see. You see, this is where the horses have won a lot." I said, "Yeah, yeah. This is ones and they put these marks on horses that are good bets." I said, "Yeah," meaning they might win. I said, "Oh, sorry, I hit there you go." And I said, "Yeah," and he said, "Now one of the things," he says, "you don't normally pick a horse by its name." I said, he says, "The name's just a name. Doesn't mean the horse can run." He says, "I'll be glad to help you." I said, "Yeah, well, still let me pick." And I see one. I said, "This one, it says Sally Might." He says, "Yeah, Sally Might." He said, "She's not too good a horse." He said, "I'm looking here. She hasn't won a race in a long, long time. She's getting old. God, I don't know." He says, "Not a good trainer." He's giving me all this stuff. A lot of it's going right over my head. And he said, "Look, she quits in the finish. She just kind of backs up, goes into reverse, heading for the finish line." He says, "Man, I don't know." And I said, "Yeah, but I there's this girl I like in kindergarten. Her name's Sally." "Sally?" He says, "You're going to bet just for a girlfriend's name?" He says, "God," he says, "your mom's name Marianne doesn't mean I'm going to bet on a horse named Mary." He says, "What?" And again, they could talk to me like this. I was reasonably bright, but I was convinced. I said, "Sally Might. I want Sally Might." He says, "Well, I'll book your bet." He says, "How much are you going to throw down?" I gave you $1. I said, "Well, I don't know. We got a few more races." I said, "I need some money for the other races." He says, "Yeah, in case you lose." And he said, "I think you're going to." I said, "Well," I said, I'll throw a quarter. How about a quarter?" He says, "Okay, a quarter you got." And whatever the odds are now the odds mean, he said, if you bet a quarter and the horse is 20-1, when the betting closes, you'll get, if she wins, you'll get 20 quarters. Of course, if she loses, your quarter's gone. I get it. He says, I said, "Yeah." He says, "You got to understand that. You can lose a bet." I said, "Yeah, I don't think I'm going to lose this one." I was very convinced. And Sally comes out. She's, oh my God. My father said, "Are you sure you want to bet that horse? Look at her. You can see her ribs." I said, "Well, those ribs look, I don't know, it makes her look good." He said, "I don't know." He says, "Horses shouldn't be showing their ribs." And, and he's, and look, she's limping, for crying out loud. What are you? God, she's stopping to wheeze and cough and stuff. I hope that horse makes it through the race. What are you? Oh my God! And look, she's 30-1, 30-1 for crying. No one likes her. All the people betting here, they're all deciding they don't like her. They like this other horse. Look, he's like 2-1. You only get 2 quarters back, but you'll get something back. What do you think? I said, "I still like Sally Might." Well, long story short, I'm munching on my hot dog. The race goes off. And I don't know what happened. Sally Might, all of a sudden, she just comes. Again, with harness racing, at least at that particular track at Freehold, the horses had to make 2 circuits of the track. You think they're coming for the finish line, but no, they still got another trip around to go. And when at the end of that first circuit, Sally was back there pretty far. She wasn't last, but she was back there. And my father, oh man, he says, you're going to get clobbered. And of course, my father's horse, the 2-to-1 shot, is out in the lead, way ahead of everybody. He's just saber jetting it all around the track. And I'm watching and watching. I said, oh, she's going to win. And well, they come now with harness racing. A lot of times it don't matter. It doesn't matter. Excuse me. It doesn't matter if you're in the lead at the early portion of the race, because what it is they kind of get themselves in position, and then once they go to about the third turn, and they're going to do the fourth turn, then they're heading for the finish line, the stretch. That's when they let it all out. And for some reason, that's how it works. And well, indeed, Sally's back there pretty far when they come into that third turn. She's coming around. She gets to where they're hugging the rail. Her driver's got her on the rail, where she's not running quite as far as the horses that are way outside. It's a little shorter distance. And I don't know what happened, but in that last, I'd say 150 yards, it was like lightning bolts were shooting out of her rear end. That horse just went flying by. The guy, the horse that was up front all that time, the 2-to-1 shot starts, I don't know, he just starts falling back and back. Sally goes flying past him, and she's like 8 lengths ahead of the field when the finish line comes. Bingo, she wins. And oddly enough, her odds even went up higher before the race. They had to tote them all up and didn't have computers back then. She was something like 35-1. I got 35 quarters plus my quarter I invested. 36 quarters, $9 to a kindergartner in 1952. That meant candy for a lifetime. My father looked at me, he says, oh man, he says, you're something. He says, son, I don't know. I never would have thought. You're good at this. Well, from then on, I was hooked. I haven't gone in a long, long time to the track, but oh, God knows I used to love it. Oh, it was so cool. I'll have to tell you some more horse racing stories. But my very first race, yep. And of course, we had to get out of there because my father bet after that race, because we had to get home to supper. I'm not so sure Mom knew that we were all at the track. There was something about me keeping it under my hat, if I recall right on the way home. Oh, they broke even. They maybe a little, maybe perhaps a little too, just for good luck. Good measure. They may have. I think we all left winners, but I really did. Man, that was cool. And of course, every day after school, I'd be looking, see if my father was there we were going to go to the track again. Every now and then it would happen. Yes. Neat. Yes. Well, anyway, friends, I'll see you later. Thank you, and God bless. Bye now.